Hi, this is Mr. Brian from Tacoma Public Library. Today, we will learn how to engineer morphing an alphabet into an animal. This is appropriate for 8-year-olds and up. However, if pieces are already cut, younger kids with assistance can play with drawings to make it their own. This process will allow them to be repeatedly exposed to the letter S, a pre-literacy skill which will help them recognize different alphabet shapes. For this project, please see the attached list, but you will need a pencil with an eraser. This is a mechanical drawing pencil, but it can be a regular pencil. An ultra fine tip Sharpie, or any pen that has dark ink and has permanent ink. Tape. This is painter's tape. Painter's tape is good because it won't rip the paper when you take the pieces off. But you can use any type of tape. Scissors. At least 2 sheets of paper. And a cutout of at least 2 of the attached patterns. Okay, let's get started by drawing the letter S. Well, I think it's going to be easier to start with the animal, because you want to try and stay within the confines of the sheet. If you go out, I'll show you what to do, because we're probably going to go out for the second project. Okay, if you have white here, keep in mind, because I don't have time, I'm not going to cut it out, but cut it out because when you make a copy with your printer, it's gonna probably show up as another line. Okay, so you don't want that. But for this, go ahead and cut it out. Let's cut it out. Okay, let's cut it out like that. It's easier to have more and then cut it out later than to cut something and you can't put it back. So just to save time, I have something that's already cut out. Okay, so this piece is cut out. And let's make believe I cut all this out too, okay? Well, it might be easier just to cut this one. Okay, so let's cut it here. And then you're gonna want to put a piece of tape behind there. So you're gonna have the tape. You're gonna roll the tape so that it's sticky on both sides, sticky on that side, sticky on that side. Stick it on your piece, okay? And then we can draw the letter S by attaching the piece, and we might as well do the back half too at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it right there. and then put a piece of tape, roll it over, and then tape it. Okay, so if we do it this way, we know it's going to stay within the confines of the sheet. Okay, so try not to put it too close to the edge if possible. Okay, so I'm going to make an S and try to attach it to the top here, and then the bottom line to the bottom here. Okay, so let's imagine what you're going to do. Gonna see how I like it. Okay, there, there. Oh, I think I want the paw, so I'm gonna include it there and then there. Okay, so let's do an imaginary line first. There, and then, oops, well, it's gonna start here and here. Okay, don't worry if you make a mistake. You're using pencil, so it's erasable. Okay, so here, there, okay, and then here I'm gonna go down. That's part of the S, and there. Oh, I like that. Okay, so if you like what you did, that's great. If you don't, go ahead and draw another line wherever you want it. You can do anything you want, okay? There's no rules. And then you're going to use the ultra fine point pen, whatever type of pen you have, and you are going to ink that pencil line. Okay, so this is what I mean. You are going to oops. Okay, you see I made a mistake here. Don't worry too much about it. You can probably fix it like that. Okay, it doesn't look too bad now, right? Okay, and then here, so right now, follow the pencil line that you made. If you wanted to improvise before you use this permanent ink, okay? Sometimes you're drawing there, oh, I like this better. Don't do that, okay? Think about, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, then don't put the black line yet. Go ahead and change it before you put the black line, okay? Remember, this is permanent ink. Okay, there we go. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to use eraser and you're going to erase the pencil line. You can give it a little time to dry to make sure the ink is dry, the permanent ink is dry, depending on what type of pen you're using, okay? This one seems to dry pretty fast, so. Okay, and then now what you can do is either put it on a window, so when you put it on the window, you're going to be taping this, well, you're going to be taping this down first on the window. And then you're going to be putting your sheet over it. Okay? And then you're going to tape that sheet down. and then you're going to trace. Okay, I would trace with a pencil first. Oh, well, this is just a illustration. I really didn't tape it down, but you want to tape it down so it doesn't move. Okay, I don't want to tape it because this is felt. Okay, so then draw your copy using a pencil, and then you can ink it again, but don't copy this part. Okay, well, maybe from here you do. That's showing the paw, so you want to probably ink there. Okay, here you probably don't want to ink at all. Okay, hope that makes sense. And then if you're using a copier, well, a printer, you can put it on your printer, and if you have a takeout shadow mold, go ahead and put that on. What that does is hopefully it'll take out these here, which is fold marks. And for this drawing I just did a rough cut. So when you make the copy, try to make sure it's nice and clean before you make a copy, because I didn't erase so well here. It picked it up on the copy. Okay, if you have whiteout, you can go ahead and remove, you know, your mistakes like here, 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 and then my rough cut. You probably want to white that out, but that's more work, right? So once you do that, if you're putting white out, let it dry thoroughly, because if you don't let it dry, that whiteout's going to get stuck onto the glass on your printer. So it's going to be even more work cleaning that. Make another copy, and then you should have a nice drawing that you can color, and it does look like the letter S. Okay, so here are some other examples. Double-headed saber-tooth tiger. This head is up, this head is upside down. I should say right side up. This saber-tooth, right side up, facing that opposite directions. So when you have the pattern, the way you can get it on this side is open it up in a computer program like Paint. And the Paint, you know where the rotation is? So it'll rotate the picture like this. If you go a little further, it'll allow you to, one of the options is to flip. So you can flip it on this side. Only thing, the whole image is flipped. So you'll see the head with the teeth, the black marks. Okay. And you can do that. And then here's another example. Of pretty much what we're doing, right? So a little bit about anatomy. When I was drawing this, it looked a little off, and I couldn't figure out why it looked off. But right here, you see this hump here? You're going to see that on a lot of mammals. Okay, that is this here. Okay, this is a what we call an armature for sculpture. So this was meant for clay, but this part will stick up here. So on a human, you're gonna see a somewhat triangular shape here, and it's between your neck and your shoulder. If you feel your back, you're gonna feel that bone. Lots of times, that's kind of like where it's gonna hurt. The muscles right around that bone. So if you give yourself a massage right in that area, right around the bone, and it'll feel good. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of muscles attached to that. Okay, here is where there's a rib cage. Okay, so there's a rib cage right here, and then there's a pelvic region, which is bone right here. So that would be this here. Okay, that is keeping this region in a kind of rounded shape. Same thing here. So in between that right here, you see this, but this is what's actually happening. If you're just looking at the bones, you're going to see the skeleton coming down from the rib cage to the pelvis, and then this part is empty. But for this model, it has this just so that it helps it keep its shape. Okay, but that's why it's thinner here, because there's not that object underneath the skin keeping it round. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to start the second part of this project. Okay, so go ahead and draw an S. So just to save time, I have an S drawn out already, and okay, I had inked it already, but don't ink it yet. Okay, just draw the pencil, and then what you're going to do is, okay, I'm going to put this aside. You're going to get this and then your piece from the first project. Okay, which was this. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to create somewhat a puppet where you can move the limbs around. So for this upper part, I'm going to create a round right there, and then you see there's sort of like an elbow joint right here. I'm going to make a round shape right there, and then the wrist is right here. You're going to make a round shape there, and then for the leg, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make a round shape here. Okay, you see the joint here? Sort of like the knee. Okay, you're going to make a round shape there, and then the foot, the foot paw, you're going to make a round shape there, and then let's cut off the tail too. Okay, we're going to make a cut right there on the tail. Okay, so go ahead and cut those out. For the head, right now, we're going to be using this piece, and you're going to cut this right now. Just keep its shape right now, okay? So go ahead and cut those out. What you should end up with is, okay, you're going to end up with, well, why don't I just show you how to cut it first? At least one. Okay, so you're going to cut this. And before you cut it, put a piece of tape, okay? That's so that you don't lose it. Remember, we rolled the tape at the first one. Same thing. Put a rolled tape there, and then this piece already has a piece of tape on it. I'm just going to move it a little. Okay, that center piece, you don't need a piece of tape. So go ahead and cut those out. Okay, and you want to line it up so you don't lose it, okay? Gonna cut that. Cut that. Okay, you're gonna have that, and then this was the arm, right? So I'm gonna put that like that. Okay, so that was the original arm. This back part, okay, let's cut it. Well, put your tape first. I'm gonna put the tape there. And you're going to put another piece on this paw right there. Okay, go ahead and cut it out, and then cut out the tail too. So you already made that circular part. Put it there. Okay. Put this here for now. And then cut this out. Okay. I think we have it backwards, right? Supposed to be facing that direction. Okay, and then I'm going to cut out the tail. And then put a piece of tape on it so you don't lose it. Okay, I have the tail here. Okay, so let's draw an S, and to expedite things, I already have a S drawn out. Okay, so why don't I erase this? And we can add the tiger's head. Okay, we had okay, so from that other tiger we had an extra piece. And you can cut it okay, so I want it a little different. Let's say I want it like this, and which means I'm gonna make it a little narrower this time. Here, and then here, and then connect up the S. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it. But you can do whatever you want. No rules, okay? I'm just showing you an example of what you can do to play around with the images. Okay, and I'm going to do a rough cut. Okay, and then with your pencil, I'm going to connect up this S. So this S is here. Okay, and then maybe we want to end it up here. So let's put this up. So if you have, you corrected a line, go ahead and erase it so that you don't get confused which line is the line you actually liked. Okay, so I'm going to use that line there. Okay, so far I like it. Okay, now what you're going to do is you are going to use that other tiger. And I'm sorry, I already got the head from another one. That's where I got the head from here. Okay. But you are going to take the inner part here, make that round, make that round, make this round. Try to keep that point here so you can match up, and you see that line there. Okay. And then you want round there, okay? And you're gonna put tape, then cut it out. That's just that centerpiece there, centerpiece here. Okay, cut it out. And I kept that point there so that I can match it up. And remember this is the front leg here. Remember you had that middle piece. Go ahead and take that middle piece out, match that point. Hopefully I still have that point in there. So that point is here, that point is here. Can you see that? Okay, on the original, there was a point like that. Okay, so that's that point I'm talking about. This point and this point. So this point matches up with this point here, and this point matches up with that point there. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. So you want to match up that point. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not down here. Oh, wait, let's take a look and see where it is. Oh, this is the top. I'm sorry, this one here, right? Okay. And then you see this black mark here, match it up with that black mark there. Okay. This one here, you're going to be cutting this out here. Okay, so that's this. I think this is way back here. And like this. Okay. So you are cutting this piece out right here. Okay, so you can match this up also. There's a point right here and a point right here. Go ahead and match those 2 points up. Right there, and then you can match this up. You see how this line matches up with that line there. Okay, it's not too crucial at this point. This is your tail. Okay, so let's start with this. Okay, I want the arms reaching forward, so I'm going to be putting the arm like that, and then do a Google search. Try to see what are natural shapes for the saber-tooth tiger to be making, okay? Because okay, so it's like that. Okay, because you don't want an unnatural shape, and you know, since saber-tooth tigers are extinct, what you can do is just look at photos of close relatives. So anything in the cat family, you know, and look for a picture to see how the cat moves its elbow. For example, you're not going to see a cat probably have its arm like that. Looks kind of weird, right? Might be going forward like that. Still looks a little awkward, okay. But pay attention to your the way the joints move. Okay, so in humans, okay, this arm will not go back any further. If it goes back like that, it looks kind of strange, right? But it can go back this way. So that's what I'm saying. Natural movements. Elbow, well, I don't want to break it, but see, it stops right there. If it goes any further, it's going to look a little strange, okay? So right here in this model, it's stopping it from going backwards. But if, you know that you're not going to see this arm actually going back like this, okay? Unless it's like turned a little like that, okay? So there's only certain ways the joints will move. It's like a hinge. Okay, so let's work on the back leg, okay? And then one of my co-workers, I don't know if you know Jamie G, she's the outreach librarian. You might see her at Eastside Community Center, People Center, or Hilltop. She likes the dinosaur look, so we're gonna make it look like a dinosaur, okay? So I'm gonna put the leg on here like this. And then remember the joints here, okay? So there's a black mark here, there's a black mark here. Go ahead and match your black marks up like that. Okay, and then match up this black line here, okay? Okay, you see how that works? So by doing these round sections, you essentially have a puppet that you can move around, and then you can add the tail. Let's see how the tail looks. Okay, maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it, but if you like it, this part is a little far, so what you're going to need to do is cut this so that when you make a copy of your print, you're going to have room to move this over, and it will still be within the sheet of paper instead of outside the sheet of paper. So when you make the print, go ahead and slide it so the it's in your glass, not on the plastic part. And then when you make a copy, it should be okay. You might get a line here and a line here, but that's when you use your whiteout, okay? So your finished product would be looking something like this. Okay, so I photocopied it, but I had marks, okay? So you're probably going to use whiteout to get those marks out and make a second copy, okay? So the marks were right where the joints are. There, you're going to have to white out. There, there. Okay, you can leave this part so it shows part of the muscle, especially a part that's not attached to the body, right? Doesn't. Here, maybe here, or you can do it here. Here, here, here. Okay, so you probably want to use whiteout, and then before you make your copy, try to make a clean erasure. You just erase all the pencil so that your black lines are nice and clean. Okay, and then once you have a clean sheet, then if you have colored paper, then you can well, what I mean is you make a second copy, and this hopefully will be gone once you put the white out. When you put the white out, make sure it's thoroughly dry before you make a copy, because the whiteout will stick to the glass on your printer. Okay, so make sure it's dry, then make a copy, and then you should have a nice clean black lines where you can color, can do anything you want to do with it at that point. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this program. This is Mr. Brian from Tacoma Public Library, and hope to see you next time.